This video we're going to look at how to approve expenses using the WAP app. So on the right hand side is my app, and on the left hand side for comparison is the desktop for this approving user. So we can already see that this user has 4 expenses for approval, and if we just pop over to the app, you can also see at the top here they've got 4 for approval. So the app will look the same whether you're coming in as an approver or as a requester. If you're coming in as an approver, the only menu items you'll really need at this stage are these ones on your first screen. Before approving, we always suggest to do a sync. That will just make sure you've got the latest items for approval. This particular user has just done a sync, so we are up to date and ready to go. So in order to approve an expense, we just tap on expenses at the top, and I can see my items for approval. Now the paperclip indicates that there's an attachment, and this blue arrow at the top right is a new icon for version 20. It's to allow you to sync from this screen, so there's no longer a need to go and navigate elsewhere to sync. So there's a couple of ways that we can do approvals. We can just pop into the order itself, you can highlight it and you can see you can approve it straight away. But instead what we're going to do is just tap on the expense that we want to look at. And again, once you come into the expense, you can see you've got approving and rejecting options here. So the first screen is the header information. If there were any notes, then you would see those here. And then you can drill into the lines on the lines tab at the bottom. So you've got a details tab and a lines tab. If there was an attachment, as we saw at the beginning, there isn't for this one, you'd have a little icon here where you'd be able to drill into it and you'd see the attachment. So here is our basic line information. If we want a bit more detail, then we can just tap on the line and it will just open it out. So if you can't quite read the whole description, you've got a bit more to go on. Once you're happy, you can either approve it or reject it from this screen, or what I'm actually going to do is going to use the back button, and I'm just going to look at another item. So if we look at this second one down now, I'll just tap onto this one because this has got an attachment. So again, here's my header information, here is my line information, and if I tap on the image itself, it opens up, and from here you can just have a quick look at what's there. So you've got some options to zoom in and move around if you can't quite see it. When you're happy, you can close it. So again, to navigate around, we're using the back arrow at the top, and I'm going to come out of this expense. So I've looked at my top 2, and as I mentioned, you can approve from within the expense itself, just at an individual level. What will happen then is you'll get a little number on this sync icon to say that you've got something waiting for approval. The other alternative is once you've checked a few at a time, you could approve several in a row. So I'm just going to approve both of those at the same time. So I've looked at them both, I'm happy with them both. I'm going to click on approve. It'll ask me if I want to approve them, and it will also give me an option by doing it in multiples as to whether I want to sync them all as well. So by saying yes to that, it brings me straight into my sync page. I don't need to click on the blue arrows, and I can just click on sync waiting. So now we can see, if we come over to our home page and pop over to our expenses, it's gone down to 2. And in our expense screen on the home screen, it's gone to 2. So that's it. That's how you approve an expense in the app. You can either do it individually, or you can do a few at once and then you can sync them straight away.